Hello and welcome to our podcast, The Audacity of Adulting. I'm your host, Lynn.
And I'm your host, Jaira.
And today we'll be talking about marriage and kids, the expectations versus realities that we had, especially being younger and now looking back at what we thought we were going to be at or what place in life we're going to be at when we were older. And yeah, it's going to be a fun episode.
Yep. And we're always sipping on something good. So today, it's cold. We have Boone's Sangria. Is that Boone?
Boone's
Sangria. You actually recommended this.
Yeah,
drink.
so I bought this one time at the liquor store because I thought, pre-made sangria. And I actually liked it. I thought it was yummy. And then I posted it on Instagram. And a few people commented or replied back and said that they called this the poor man's sangria because it's like $6 a bottle. But I thought I would let Jaira try it. I really, really liked it. And hopefully she will too.
Product of the USA.
Mm-hmm. And it's $6 Canadian, so it's a lot cheaper in the US. It's a good cheap drink. I think I had it last summer, and I put it over ice, and it was really, really good. Hopefully it gives off the same vibes. Cheers. Okay, you try first. I want to hear your thoughts.
Ooh, it doesn't taste strong at all.
I think it's 7.5% or 7%.
7%.
I like it because it uses red wine. This is a red wine sangria. And you can taste the red wine a bit, but it's not too much.
Yeah, it's...
Right. You hate red wine, so
yeah,
that's why I was expecting you to not like it, but...
No, this tastes like juice. Literal juice.
Yeah, it's really good. You can taste a bit of the orange and red wine, and... yeah, I love it. Poor man sangria.
Very good. Okay, so we are going to be talking about marriage and kids, the expectations versus reality. So you know how in high school you were asked in 10 years, what do you see or where do you see yourself, or what do you picture your life to be like? For me, I actually imagined, let's say I was 17. I imagined myself to be married at that time, or in 10 years' time, married, planning to have kids, and
Holy crap, 17? 10 years is 27?
Yeah.
Whoa. That seemed so long, and now it's whoa,
dude,
we are
we're
27
2 years.
soon.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, go on.
No, it's okay.
It was the realization, when you said 10 years, I was that's a long time, 30s, but then I realized 27.
Yeah, it's 27.
Sorry, go on.
But yeah, that's what I imagined my life to be like. Married, having found that my significant other that I'm going to marry, and being in a white picket fence kind of life. That's how I imagined it. Mm-hmm. What about you?
Well, for me, obviously I am married, but I definitely knew that I wanted to be married young. And I did get married just shy of my 23rd birthday. So I was technically 22 on the day that we said our vows and said I do and everything was official. I thought that I would be married early and have kids early. So by that, I thought, I was going to get married at 20. I know, so young. But I was going to get married at 20, have kids when I'm 22 or 23, and just, live my life as a young mom. And I really, truly believe that was going to happen for me. But obviously, time passed, and my husband and I went to college together. We finished and graduated together. And then after we graduated, we lived together for about, I think, 9 months to a year before we got engaged and married in the same year. So as time went by, I started to think wow, yeah, I'm ready to get married because, my husband is obviously my soulmate. Can't imagine my life without him. So I was ready for that. But for the whole kids part, I was I cannot imagine myself having kids at 22. And I don't even think I'm going to be ready for the next few years. And fast forward, I'm turning 26 this year. And I'm still not ready, not even remotely close. I probably could fill a huge, container of loonies for every time somebody asked me, when are you having kids? Or, like, all of those baby kind of questions. I swear I could have like $1 for every time and I would have a container in a month. Really. I get asked so many times, but I am simply not ready. And it's just funny looking back at how high school me thought or how young me thought compared to now as an adult.
Yeah, I mean, I think mentally I'm ready to have a kid, but financially, no. So it's like I want kids like soon, but I don't have a significant other. I'm not married, and so I don't even know how that's going to be possible. But we were actually talking earlier about how when we were like 13 or 14, we had this like plan, and obviously your plan was to marry young, have kids at a young age. But then my thought process was I'm going to find the person I'm going to marry at 25. I'm going to get married by 27, have kids by 28. And I feel like I'm cutting short on that my timeline, but I'm 25. I'm still young. I know the right person for me is out there, but there's no need to get to rush into it.
Did you watch How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah.
It sounds like that. It's like Ted Mosby looking for his partner. I love that.
But yeah, I mean, I know he's out there somewhere. Just kidding.
If you're a single Filipino man, hit us up.
Oh my God.
DMs are open. But yeah, in all seriousness, like I find it funny because, okay, well, to back up a little bit, marriage is a label for a lot of people. Some people don't care about that label or that title, and some people do. For myself, I still value marriage to its highest value. My parents have been married for over 25 years now. And I had just a great relationship to look up to. And you as well hold marriage to a high value too.
Yeah,
right?
I hold it to a biblical standpoint.
Yeah, exactly. So just to say that in the context of everything we're saying. So for me, marriage was something that I wanted to have earlier on. And I stand by this a lot, but when you know, you know. And I just knew it with my husband. But as for being a mother or having a baby, I just feel like it really depends on every woman,
And the situation.
Yeah, like having a baby is very traumatic on a woman's body. It alters your life, right? Like people say that, oh, having kids is not the end of anything, which is true, of course. Moms can achieve whatever they want, even with kids. But it does put a pause on your plans, and you obviously have to think about somebody else aside from your partner when you're making plans. Like, for instance, I kind of compare it to like my husband and I, if we want McDonald's or a late night fast food run, we just go, right? Midnight, we want a cheeseburger, we go. But if I had kids right now, I couldn't just like pick them up out of their cribs and go get a cheeseburger, right? So you have to think about them in that standpoint. And I just feel like I want to be the best mom I can be, and I'm just simply not ready. I'm not ready to give that up just yet, but I want to. So I want to in the future. It's just not at this point. And I find it funny because I feel like I'm married, and the next step, which everyone also thinks, is kids, right? They're like, even this one, she asked me when I'm gonna have kids, like over and over again.
Yeah, because we need a baby in the family, bro.
Yeah, like my family is waiting for me to pop one, because I'm the only one married, and I'm just like not ready. Whereas a lot of my friends, and like Jaira was saying, is they're ready, but they're not married or they don't have a partner. So I just find that very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, having a kid is a really big responsibility. You have to make sure that you can provide everything that you can for that kid. And Obviously, I wouldn't have one right now because I don't have the proper finances for a child. But mentally and emotionally, I'm ready to take care of a baby me, a mini me.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, it's very, yeah. I mean, I thought I was prepared too, right? Like I said, well, I have so many nieces and nephews. I've always loved kids. I literally got my babysitting license at like 12 years old, like 11 or 12 years old. Like I literally had a little certificate for it because I truly love taking care of kids. If you follow me on any of my social media platforms, I'm always with my nephew. I always take my niece out. They come for sleepovers. I take them for lake days. We do a lot of stuff together, and I truly, truly love that. And I want to pass that on to my kids. But I don't know. I'm just not ready to take it on full time.
Yeah, I would be, but again, finances is that just sucks. Like I need to figure out a way to be able to provide for my child.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of responsibility. Yeah, it's hilarious looking back. Like, what did 14-year-old me think at that time
Yeah.
to think that, oh, this is possible? Well, for me, I was earlier than Jaira. Jaira said that she had this plan till 27, right? To get married at 27.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for me, I thought I was going to get married at 20, have kids at 22 or 23.
Yeah, and I think it's a societal standard as well. The image of marriage and having kids, like you have like before you're 30, you have to be married and have kids. So that's the societal standard. But in reality, you don't have to live up to those standards. You just take it slow, do what you need to do, figure out yourself and make sure you can take care of yourself before taking care of another person.
And there's a lot of alternatives for women too nowadays where they're having kids later, but there are things like freezing your
Yeah.
embryos or,
Your
like,
eggs.
yeah, like, did I say embryo?
Yeah, you did. Freeze the embryo.
Freezing your eggs and IVF and, so many other ways that you can have kids so it's not just a one size fits all for most families. So yeah, but it's hilarious how marriage and kids go hand in hand. But it's really not the case because we have one side of the audacity of adulting who's ready for kids
And not married.
and not married, and then we have the other side who's married and not ready for kids. So it really does not go hand in hand together.
Yeah, and you can't compare yourself to another person too. Obviously, your life is going to be different to someone else's life.
Yeah. And like think about it this way, and I got to shout out my mother-in-law and my dad who constantly ask me when I'm going to have a kid. But you are going to be the one taking full responsibility and taking full care of your children. So there is no way in the universe that anybody can force you or like pressure you into having a kid if you are not ready. Because at the end of the day, yeah, maybe they get grandkids or maybe they get nieces and nephews or whatever, but it's still your kid and you are raising a little human. So unless, people offer you financial stability
Yeah, please help.
or, pay for your kid or take childcare on and, can promise that, it's up to you for your well-being of your kid. So if you're not ready, you're not ready. It sucks that for women, biologically, obviously age is a factor. And it does put more pressure on us.
But don't rush into it if you're
Yeah.
really not ready.
There's no way somebody can tell you if they're ready. And I feel that way too. I constantly have to shut things down when things get too far, especially on my in-laws side. My in-laws are starting to have babies, are starting to plan, and I'm like, nah,
I'm not ready.
I need to drink more wine first. I need to eat more sashimi, and then
yeah.
I'll be ready. But yeah, I think maybe in a few years, but I still feel super young. I want to live it up, and I want my kid to be proud of me, and I want my kid to know of my experiences and be able to pass on some of the wisdom I learned from being cultured and experiencing different things in life, because I really, really hate when people have things to say and have not experienced it. Like, I'm the type of person who doesn't really say no to something, or like doesn't completely shut it down. I love being open-minded, and there's nothing that'll fuel that more than experiencing it or chatting about it, or just being open-minded to that thought and hearing some experiences from other people. So I want to build myself up before I'm ready to have kids and pass on whatever I have, because that's what it is, right? Parenting, you do what's best for your kid, and you do what's the best that you know.
Yeah.
Right? Parenting is different for everybody. So you do the best that you know and pass that on to your kid.
Yeah, and I think with having a kid, you really can't, you don't know what to expect. Like, you really don't. I mean, I can't, I mean, I see that with a lot of parents. Like, the kid does something and you don't really know how to react to it.
It's a learning experience for both sides.
Yeah. So it's just a whole nother eye-opener of having a kid. Yeah. And you just have to be mentally, physically, emotionally prepared.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's no way to prepare fully, but just being in like the right mindset, I think is the word. Not prepared.
Yeah.
I think even moms
you'll never be prepared for it.
And I feel like I'll never be prepared. But yeah, just being in like the right mindset and being like ready.
Yeah.
Almost to take on the challenge.
Ready, because you'll never fully be ready. You just,
Yeah, just take on the challenge and just know that it's going to be a tough road, but it's going to be a rewarding road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, for me, I would love to be able to raise my kid as I know will be part of this world and be able to do good in this world.
Yeah.
So
that's funny.
Yeah.
We should rewatch this when we both have kids.
Oh my gosh.
See what changed.
Yeah, and then we'll be like, oh my gosh.
Everything we thought out the window.
Yep. So, well, maybe in 5 years' time, we'll
hopefully
I want to have a kid in 5 years. Dang, 30.
That's so quick.
Dude. We're getting old.
We're getting old but young. We're still young, but it feels like we're getting older real quick. Time flies.
I know. Well, I just want to add to like the societal standard. You really don't have to rush into it. Like, you'll just, like you said, you'll be ready when you're ready.
Yeah. It's ultimately up to you. Like, when it comes to adulting, everything that you do is your own life. You take full responsibility. You take ownership for it. So if, let's say you want to move careers. But that's on you. If you want to have a baby. But that's on you. If you want to get married, but that's on you. So just taking that full ownership and accountability, but there's simply like no rush. Well, thank you. That's a wrap up on our part. We really want to talk about this because we've talked about it just between us, and it's just kind of funny how, again, when we were younger, we had all these expectations of like basically living that white picket fence life at the age of 25 or under 30. But being an adult, a lot of things in life get in the way, and that's okay. That's normal. We pivot, we advance, we learn, we grow. That's just how life is. We adapt.
Yeah, and we're in different stages in our life too.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You never really know.
Yeah, so everybody goes at their own pace, and it's just interesting to see how people have different mindsets and different opinions about it, which is why we love doing the podcast. But anyways, thank you again for watching and listening. If you're on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, all our social media links are down below, so make sure that you follow us. We release a new episode every other week, so stay tuned for all our updates and our new episodes. We have a lot of new topics coming up that we're really excited to talk about. But yeah, cheers to the reality of marriage and kids.
Yeah.
I like this.
Juice, adult juice.
Bye, guys.
Bye.